Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're staying safe and you're all good. I thought I would bring you a different sort of video today. This is how to make this crochet crop top, which is really cool for like festival season if it ever happens, and just like a general thing to do, like a mindful activity. It might be good for any anxiety that you might have at this time and gives you something to do in lockdown, and also you get a really cute top at the end of it. I actually am thinking of making a bit more of these tutorials, so let me know if you like it. I do make this into a halter neck at the end as well, so if you're interested in that, once you've made the body of the crop top, skip to the end because I actually ended up turning it into a halter neck. So yeah, enjoy the video guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good. I literally cannot believe I haven't done a tutorial like this before. We're in lockdown, like what else is there to do other than make clothes? Like this is super handy as well. You can have this in your wardrobe for like ages. If you use cotton yarn as well, it will last a lot longer and it'll be really durable. I only get my hands on some acrylic that I had left over in my wall basket, so I had to make do with that. But like if you've got any like yarn lying around, or if you're completely new to crocheting and you want to buy some stuff online, I will link everything in the description box. Crop top is pretty easy to do. You can definitely alter this tutorial to how you want it. Like if you want thinner straps, you don't have to have like these thick straps that I've done here, or if you just want to do one block colour, you can definitely do that as well. But I had loads, like I said, I had loads of yarn lying around, so I ended up doing this stripe pattern. I am thinking about making a matching skirt, so if this is something you want to see more of on this channel, definitely let me know. I'll do some more tutorials for you. A few tips before you start. Don't rush it. If you feel like you're getting a bit agitated, just put it down, put the kettle on, have a cuppa and sit down and relax and come back to it. Cotton yarn obviously is a lot better quality than acrylic or polyester. I find that organic cotton is probably the way forward. Polyester is obviously made out of plastic and it can stretch very easily. Acrylic yarn is similar, but it's okay. It's better than polyester if you're on a budget. I only use one type of stitch doing this top, but honestly there are so many different types of stitches, there's so many different styles, so let's just get on with it. So let's talk yarn. I wanted to create this stripy pattern, so I actually used 4 rows. I think you can get maybe 100 grams would do the whole top, but I just got bits of yarn that I had left over, and I will link the yarn that I used down below. So I'm working from the bottom upwards, so I'm going to start with the cream yarn, and then I also take a 4.5mm crochet hook. I will link some crochet hooks down below. They're so cheap to get hold of, all different sizes depending on what yarn you use, but chunky yarn is more like a 4.5, maybe a 5mm hook. So we're going to start by creating our first loophole, and we're going to get the end of the yarn and wrap it around our 2 fingers, and as you wrap it round you want to get the excess bit of yarn through the hoop, and then you make your first little loop. So you should end up with something that looks like this, and then you're going to stick your crochet hook through. Now I'm right-handed, so if it's left-handed you might be doing this the opposite way, but I'm going to yarn over, so I'm just going to take that yarn and wrap it around and then pull it through, and then that is your first stitch. So that this stitch is called a chain, and we are going to make 90 chains. So just keep yarning over and pulling through, yarn over and pull through, and create 90 stitches. You don't want the loops, the little chains, to be too tight or too loose, because you will need to put your crochet hook back through them when you go down the row. But yeah, just have them loose but not too loose and not too tight. So you should end up with something that looks like this, a 90 chain, and then you're going to fold it in half and make sure you don't twist the chain, and then you're going to stick your crochet hook through the first stitch you made, and then what you're going to do is wrap over a yarn, so yarn over the crochet hook and then pull through all the holes. So your line of chains is now going to become a circle, and that is going to be the bottom of your top. and we're going to work upwards. So what you're going to do is yarn over again, so exactly what you did before, yarn over and then just pull through and make a chain. Then we're going to yarn over again and then push through the first stitch next to that first stitch you made. Once the crochet hook is through that stitch, you're going to yarn over another and then pull through that stitch that you just put the crochet hook through, and you should have 3 hoops on your crochet hook. Then yarn over once more and then pull through all of the hoops that you've made. So you should have 3 hoops on your crochet hook and then you're pulling through all of them. This is the only stitch that you need to learn during this tutorial, and it's called the half double crochet in America and the half triple crochet in the UK. You're going to find the next stitch along and you're going to do exactly the same. So I'll just leave you with that, and you're going to do it all the way around, and just take your time, pause it whenever you need to and go back, and yeah, good luck. So once you've put a half double crochet in each stitch around, you're going to be left with this little twist at the bottom. So all you need to do is count 1, 2, so the second stitch that you made, or the second chain that you made originally, and you're going to go through that hole and you're going to slip stitch. So to bind the 2 together, you're just going to yarn over and pull through, and that's literally all you're going to do, and that's called a slip stitch. It just means that it's not going to be increasing the amount of chains or stitches throughout the whole of this project. It means that it's going to be a nice straight line all the way around. So for round 2, we are going to do exactly the same as we did at the beginning. So yarn over and pull through, so you've made 1 chain, and then you're going to yarn over, pull through to the next stitch, and then yarn over again to make that half double crochet. Exactly what you've done before, you're just going to continue it all the way around. So we're literally doing exactly the same as we did on round 1 to round 2. I think the hardest bit is starting off that first round, because the chains can be quite tight and quite tricky to like get the crochet hook in. So by this point now you should be easing your crochet hook into the holes, because it's quite loose around now. So these will create that crochet look, and you should be really proud of yourself because you've literally mastered it already. It's pretty much this the whole way. So at the end of round 2, we're going to do exactly as we did in round 1. We're going to slip stitch the 2 together. So we're going to do our last half double crochet into the holes we need to, so we can get right up close. But you can already see that little slip stitch where we did on round 1. So we got to make sure we're not half double crocheting in that slip stitch. We need to leave that as a slip stitch. So we're putting our crochet hook through that first stitch we made, yarning over and then pulling through the 2 loops, and then make a chain. So yarn over and pull through, that's a chain to increase the round. And then for round 3 we're going to do exactly the same. For round 4 we're going to do exactly the same, and for round 5 we're going to do exactly the same. So you should end up with 5 rows. So we should have done our 5 rounds. So we're going to slip stitch that 5th round to make that block of colour, and then we're going to add our next colour in. We're going to do the exact same stitching but for each block of colour all the way to make a striped effect. So once that round 5 has been slip stitched, you're safe to just pull off the yarn and just pull it through and tighten it. All we're going to do is just tie our next colour on, and we're literally going to just tie it on, and then we're going to continue exactly how we did for the next couple of rounds to make all the different colours. So once we've completed our 10th row, we're going to do our last half double crochet, then slip stitch. So on the second chain we're going to slip stitch through, and then we're going to do exactly the same as we did when we introduced that blue colour. We're going to add another colour in, so just tie it off and then literally tie on the next color, and then continue and do that for another 2 blocks of color. So that's another 20 rows, so that should be 40 rows in total. And I picked a baby pink color and a lilac as well, and they were all pastel colors, and I think they worked really nicely together. So obviously if you wanted to do one block of colour all the way, then you wouldn't have to do the changes of the colour, but it is easy enough to do, so I'd like to show you how I did that, so hence why I did it. But also when you get to the purple now, which is the last colour, you just do exactly what you did and tear some of the yarn off and pull it through. Then I want to teach you how to hide the yarn, so all I'm doing is weaving the excess yarn in and out of any crochet stitch, I guess, and just literally just weaving it in and out, and all you're doing is just making sure that it's all secure. And you can do that with each of those colors throughout. So you should end up with something that looks like this. It should be 20 rows in total, and it should be a nice straight line either side. If it looks like it's increasing at all, you might be not slip stitching or maybe crocheting into the slip stitch. But yeah, hopefully it ends up looking like this. So even if you're doing a halter neck or you're doing a strap, this will still be relevant. So what you need to do is fold it in half, and then make sure that the slip stitch are facing you, and then from the right hand side count in 7 stitches and slip your crochet hook into the 7th stitch. So I've chosen to do the straps stripy as well, so I decided to use a blue yarn for this, and I'm going to go in on that 7th stitch that I counted with the yarn to make a little hoop. I'm literally just taking the yarn in and then making a hoop, and then a yarn over and pull through to make a chain like we were doing on our rounds. And then what I'm going to do is yarn over again and go in with a half double crochet, so exactly like we did, into the same stitch, and then that should be all nice and secure, and you should be ready to start your halter neck or your strap. So you want to chain as many as you need for your neck or your shoulder. So if you're doing a halter neck, it's 46 stitches for like a size 8, but if you're doing the 2 straps, then it'll be around 38. So where you did the strap, so the 7 stitches you did the strap, you want to meet it the other way around, so 7 stitches on the other side, and that will be 14 stitches from the strap in total. Even if you're doing a halter neck, it still applies, and you're going to put your crochet hook through that 14th stitch, and you're going to slip stitch that strap onto that 14th stitch. Like I said previously, the chains can get twisted, so make sure that it's not twisted and you like unravel it all the way around before you slip stitch. So move your project sideways so you can now go along the strap. And what we're going to do is slip stitch upwards, so that first stitch, that purple stitch upwards, we're going to slip stitch through just so we're moving along a row, and then we're going to work back down the strap. So we're going to do a half double crochet in each of those chains that we made through the strap, and we're going to get back to where we started. Like I said previously, make sure you're not putting a half double crochet into a slip stitch. It's easy to do, so once you go upwards, look for the stitch that binded the strap to the body, skip that one and go onto the chain that you made. And now I'm just working along the strap, doing a half double crochet in each chain. So once you do your last half double crochet, make sure it's not the slip stitch, and you're going to go in to the next chain across on the lilac and slip stitch that blue yarn to that purple yarn. All you're going to do is stick your crochet hook through, then yarn over and then pull through both hoops. This shouldn't be a slip stitch into where you started, it should be the next one across. Obviously you can use just that strap because that looks quite cute, but because I wanted a thicker strap I kept going, so I'm going to show you what I actually did. This is also a perfect halter neck. You can turn it so that is the only strap and use it as a halter neck too. So once I've slip stitched into that lilac, I'm going to go up again, so I'm going to go through to the next stitch and then slip stitch upwards so that I'm going onto my next row, and then I'm going to turn it inside out. The one thing I would say though is if you're having a smaller or thinner strap, then I suggest that you start with less chains, just because I'm doing a thick strap it shrinks a little bit, and I always start with more chains to start with just because it shrinks. But if you're doing a thinner strap, obviously it's not going to shrink, so you probably want to do the chains and fit the chains to your actual arm to start with. That sounded a little bit complicated, I'm not very good at explaining this, but basically when you do more rows they tighten up the crochet so it's not as stretchy. So on screen I look like I'm doing some sort of crazy business, but all I'm doing is turning the top inside out, and the reason I'm doing this is so that I can go back the way I came, because we always go from right to left if you're right-handed, but if you're left-handed you're going left to right always. So I turned it inside out so that I could go right to left and go back to do my third row. I already moved the row up one before I turned it inside out, so I'm gonna find the next chain and do half double crochets all the way back to where I came. And this is literally how I do my straps. I just do half double crochets all the way and then slip stitch one up. Obviously it depends on the thickness of your strap or how you'd like it. I ended up doing 4 rows of this blue colour in total and then 4 rows of another colour. So I've just slip stitched my 4th round to the lilac, and instead of turning it inside out I break off the yarn and I literally tie on another colour, exactly how I did in the body I'm going to do on the straps. So just tie on another colour and do exactly the same as you've done. So once you've turned your work inside out to carry on, you're going to go into the next stitch across, and you're not going to go into the stitch that your blue one is in. You're going to go into the next stitch across and pull your new colour yarn in. So instead of doing the slip stitch, that is going to act as your slip stitch. So you're going to go straight into your half double crochets all the way around and just carry on like you have been. So once you've done that, you've got your first strap. I actually tried it on like this and it looked quite cool as like a one shoulder, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm just basically hiding that little excess yarn. I'm just weaving it in and out, in and out. Now to do the second strap, you want to do exactly the same, so fold it in half and 7 stitches across from the left inwards, and that will be our next strap, so exactly the same as we've done before, and I'll come back to you once I've done my second strap. Now that's completed, you've got 2 straps. Obviously, if you want a halter neck, you don't have to do that second strap. You can just keep it as that one strap. It should fit fine. And I did end up taking this pink and blue strap off because I don't know if you noticed, but one of my straps is bigger than the other. I didn't do the correct chains at the beginning, but that's just my mistake. We're all human and I'm new to doing crochet, so, you know, forgive and forget. And just to finish off, once you've weaved in all your loose ends, you can trim them off and then you've got your top. Hey guys, so it's currently the morning after and I had a little bit of a think about this top on how I can change it. I was thinking of other ways that you could have the top and I decided to turn it into a halter neck. So I am going to show you how to change it into this halter neck if that's the style you want. But all I'm going to do is unstitch this strap here and I'm just going to make it into a halter neck. I think that this is a lot more flattering, just like having it as a halter neck for my body type. Oh, hi again. You're probably sick of hearing my voice, but I'm gonna carry on. So all I'm doing is just unpicking the pink and blue one. I decided the purple and white one was a nicer colour combination with the top. So yeah, I'm just unpicking it and unraveling it. That is literally all I'm doing. And then I end up with a halter neck. Voila. I absolutely love this. I think this is exactly the style that I like. It's really quite oversized and I quite like that. It's like quite baggy at the back, which I actually quite like. It's just really like nice and would be really nice under a bikini, or you could even like make it as a dress. If you just did the stitches all the way down, it would just turn into a dress. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer it as a halter neck or a strappy top? If you do like it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.